Nerdly presents the feed where the reels unwind. Off the real podcast, digging deep in the grind. 80 flicks, low cash, big dreams in the frame. No blockbuster hype, just the realest in the game.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerdly Presents Off The Reel. This is an Off The Reel review. I like to cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, with a special keen interest on the lower end of the scale, although that's not really what I'm doing here. My name is Kevin Haldan. I am part of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British website for all of your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. Please do go over to the website, nerdly.co.uk. You will see many other reviews over there. Somebody may have reviewed this movie as well, but you will see reviews for a little bit of everything from one of our fantastic, awesome contributors. We have got lots of collaborators over there, so please do go and check out what they think. Today, it's the bottle movie. It's the one person, or sometimes two people, but one person stuck in one location having to try and battle their way out of it. How are they going to get away from this? What are they going to do? Think about Colin Farrell's Phone Booth, a movie I absolutely adored from back in the 2000s. Great little movie. Colin Farrell stuck in a phone booth, can't go anywhere. Kiefer Sutherland's telling him what to do. Then you think about the films like Buried, Ryan Reynolds. I think easily one of, if not the best performance Ryan Reynolds has ever given. Without Tom Hardy's Lock, one guy in a car driving from one location to another location, multiple phone calls, kind of a little bit like this one, and it was called Lock. It was a fantastic movie. I absolutely loved it. So yes, when I saw the trailer for this movie and I saw that Bill Skarsgard was going to be making a movie where he's pretty much locked in a car, he's going to be terrorized or tortured by Anthony Hopkins, I was like, yes, I'm in. Add to that, this is director David Yarovesky, who was the director of Brightburn. And yes, I will say, Bill Skarsgard still in this movie in his Pete Davidson era. Today we are talking about the movie Locked by director David Yarovesky, and what I will do is give you the plot of the movie with as few spoilers as humanly possible. Then I'll get into the cast and crew of the movie. It is only 2 or 3 people, and then I'll get into what I did and didn't like about this movie, followed up with my Nerdly Presents Off the Reel review rating of the movie Locked. It is just my rating, not the rating of Nerdly on the whole. There might actually be somebody over there who has reviewed this movie as well. Go and check out what they thought. But let's get into Bill Skarsgård being directed by David Yarovesky in the movie Locked. And that's that Bill Skarsgård is kind of a little bit down on his luck. He's a little bit of a deadbeat dad. He's a little bit of a, well, you kind of get the sense that he might be a bit of a junkie, or he's at least trying to mend his ways. He's trying to do something with himself, but it's kind of not going too well. And all he wants to do is spend the day with his daughter, but he's kind of been letting her down a lot. And he goes on the phone, and the wife's kind of, or the ex-wife, or the girlfriend, or whatever she is just giving him shit all the time at the start of this movie. So we see him going from place to place, checking car by car to see if he can steal somebody's car, because he doesn't have enough money to pay for the repairs on his van. The van he needs to do his deliveries. The van he also needs to go and pick his daughter up from school. Lo and behold, one of these vans in the middle of a car park, kind of auspiciously placed in the middle of a car park, as if to say, please come and try and break into me. Please do that right now, because I have set traps for you. He tries it, it opens, and he gets in. It is a swanky as shit SUV. This thing has all the mod cons. This thing looks technological as hell. And after a little while, he's like, right, I've got everything I need. Time to get out. Tries to get out of the car. Can't get out of the car. He is now locked in the car. This car is about to become his prison for the rest of this movie. After a little while, the phone starts to ring. Who's on the other end? You don't know, but you have to answer it. So he kind of ignores it at first, but then he does answer the phone. And we get the most British sounding, awesome sounding Anthony Hopkins on the other end of the phone, basically telling him, you're now my prisoner, you've broken into the wrong car, and you're gonna pay. That is essentially the plot of the movie. Anthony Hopkins has trapped him in there for one reason or another. We don't really know why, but we will find out as the movie goes. I mean, I say we will find out. We vaguely find out. But anyway, so there's that whole thing. Now he's stuck in the car, and It's more about a little bit of the back and forth. Anthony Hopkins has sort of like decided that he's going to do this because he wants to sort of clean up the streets. He wants to wipe out the scourge. There was something that happened to him a couple of years ago, to him and his family, and that is the main reason why he's not really choosing Bill Skarsgård as such. It's kind of a random choice. So yeah, that's the movie. Skarsgård wants to get out the car. He's not happy that he's stuck in the car. Anthony Hopkins wants him in the car. He's going to kind of terrorize him for the rest of the movie. So let's get into the cast and crew. I've already mentioned cast and crew, but what I will say is David Yarovesky. I'll get to what I thought of this movie, and I do have some issues with this movie, but I think David Yarovesky as a director, he's a stylish director, he's a good director, he has a vision. There are choices being made in this movie that I think were a little bit outside the box, but it does show a certain amount of flair as to what this director wants to give us. Bill Skarsgård, I'm a massive Bill Skarsgård fan. I have been for a little while now. Boy Kills World, it's one of my favourite movies that I've seen in a good long while anyway. It's definitely up there in my top 5 for the last however many years. I absolutely adore Bill Skarsgård. So seeing him do a movie with the director of Brightburn, I was all for that. And in this, he's still, like I say, in his Pete Davidson era, he's still kind of thin and gangly, but that's just Bill Skarsgård, really. He doesn't do anything wrong in this movie. There's not a lot for Bill Skarsgård to grab onto. It kind of becomes Anthony Hopkins' movie at that point, but he's done enough in the opening sections of this movie that I enjoyed the character, I enjoyed the role he was playing, and I liked what he was doing. Fully believable, he puts himself through it, and you know that Bill Skarsgård does put himself through it. Anthony Hopkins is basically Anthony Hopkins. The man, for me, can do no wrong. He's a legendary British actor at this point, and everything he's doing in this movie is fine. It's absolutely fine. He lends his voice. It's kind of like, you know, when Phone Booth came out and you watched that movie, you knew from the get-go that it was Kiefer Sutherland on the other side of the phone. His voice is so memorable, so recognizable. It's absolutely Kiefer Sutherland. And you get the same in this movie. As soon as he starts talking, it sounds like Anthony Hopkins. It is Anthony Hopkins. And he's fantastic. He gets some really good lines about where civilization is nowadays. Some social realism kind of talk. I loved all of that. And it paid credence as to why Anthony Hopkins is doing this. However, and we'll get into this in a little second, I was a little bit just downhearted by the way it went. So, I think this movie has a great soundtrack, a great score, that's all gravy, it looks good, it's visually stunning, it's a great looking movie with some great bold choices, so I don't really have anything else to say about cast and crew on that, it's just really well made. What I didn't like, however, so when I get into what I did and didn't like, what I did like are the performances. I think Skarsgård and I think Anthony Hopkins are both absolutely wonderful. We do see Anthony Hopkins later on in the movie. We do get the moment where the two characters meet up and kind of have a little bit of back and forth, and that's all gravy as well. I didn't mind any of that. My only thing there was that that's where the movie does also kind of fall apart. You have these two absolutely fantastic actors going at it, knocking loggerheads together, and I loved everything they were doing, but really they're not saying anything. They have set up some stuff early on in the movie through some lines of dialogue. We don't explore that, and I'm like, so was that a thing? Was it not a thing? I like the direction. I think they've done a really good job in terms of how this movie looks and feels. I just think that the storyline, the plot beats in the later end of the movie, like the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, that's when the movie sort of falls apart, if I'm honest. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to jump to my final rating of this movie because it was a little bit of a mixed bag, and I don't really want to be overly negative about the film because I think they've done a great job. I think David Yarovesky is absolutely a director we need to be keeping an eye on, seeing what he does next, seeing what he does going forward. But this movie for me was a bit of a damp squib. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I'm definitely not sitting on the fence and giving it a 2.5. I'm gonna go over the other side of the fence and give it the benefit of the doubt. I just feel like there were story points and plot beats that it felt with the dialogue we were given, they were building up to, and they just didn't give us it. They didn't pay it off. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe there doesn't need to be a reason for Anthony Hopkins to be doing this stuff. Maybe there doesn't need to be a reason that he's doing it to Bill Skarsgård. but it felt a little bit personal at points. And is it because he's angry at the world? Is it because he's angry at the youth of today, which he does say in a couple of lines of dialogue? But if that is the reason, then I don't really know what to take away from the movie. I don't really know what I should be thinking about Anthony Hopkins' character. I don't know what I should be thinking about Bill Skarsgård's character. Does anybody really get any payoff? Does anybody really get any sense of satisfaction? I don't know. That in lies the problem for me. It's a good movie, well made. It's just not perfect and falls apart in places that I really don't think it needed to fall apart. The rule of thumb when it comes to movie making, as far as I've always been concerned, storytelling, as far as I've always been concerned, if you introduce a line of dialogue or if you introduce plot points and theories and things like that, pay them off in a small way. Or if you're not going to pay them off, do something that makes me realize that, oh, actually, this is what he was doing. This is why he was doing it. And actually, that resonates with me. Maybe I've just missed something. Maybe I've just completely missed something. But personally, this movie is definitely better than average. Not much better, though. So 3 out of 5 for the movie Locked. Directed by David Yarovesky, starring Bill Skarsgård, who is absolutely wonderful in the movie, Anthony Hopkins, who is also wonderful in the movie. I just think the writing in places, particularly the tail end of the movie, the writing lets it down a little bit. Other than that, it's a cracking little flick. I think people will enjoy. Not too much thinking involved. And yeah, it does what it's supposed to. Please do check out reviews down below. I've got loads of reviews coming down below. Please do go and check out all them. I've got more reviews incoming, more interviews incoming. The Off the Reel podcast is absolutely flying. We're 4 episodes in, a 5th episode is about to drop. So please do check all that stuff out as well. Go over to nerdly.co.uk and check out all the reviews that people are writing over there. We have a fantastic team of writers that all give us something very different about movies that are very different. Do all that. And if you watch this movie, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will always continue the conversation down there and we can have fun with this and see where it takes us. But for now, this has been Nerdly Presents Off the Reel. My name has been Kevin Halden and I will be back in the next review or interview or whatever we do. See you next time.